ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News. I am Vinny, this is Angela, and we are here live, and we're back after a 1 week vacation because I was on vacation. Hello, Billy. Hello, Susan. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the chat. It's going to be a fantastic episode. There's going to be no gate crashers tonight, though, because Kim's not here, and quite honestly, GH is creating so much that we figured we had to give the time to GH right now. Hi, Donna. How are you? Angela, how was your week? How was your actually past couple of weeks?
Crazy. I've been with the boys that I nanny. I've been hashtagging it our crazy summer.
Yep.
And but it's been really good. It's been crazy. And there were family stuff that wasn't great, but that's gotten better, and it's been good.
Awesome. By the way, folks, I do want to let you know that I did finally get to update our Linktree, which is where you can find all of our social media accounts, as well as all of our sponsors and people that we have different promo codes with. So you can check that out, Linktree /Suds Media. Check that out. That has all of the links to all of our sponsors, including our Buy Me a Coffee link, which is buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. If you want to donate and help us do more stuff with the podcast, with the network to get to more places. Also, there is Safe Shell VPN, which is a new sponsor of ours, as more of an affiliate link, I should say. So check that out. We've also got 1-800-PACK-RAT if you're moving, but also our main advertisers are W Energy, which is W.GG, and use promo code Suds Media for 10% off. And you can also go to whatthefudct.com. So check those out as well. But we are here live. Also, there is one more Set app, which is powerful apps for Mac and iOS. So check that out. It has a ton of different apps in there as well. So go check out our Linktree. So check that out. Linktree.com. Suds Media is the username. Check that out. But are we selling margarine? No, we are not selling margarine at all. But anywho, we are here live. I had a great vacation. I was promoting on the vacation. If you were checking out our social media during the week away, went to Kings Island in Ohio. I also went to the Weird Al Yankovic concert in Dayton, Ohio, which I'm sorry, the absolute best concert I've ever been to. The stage show was just phenomenal, and Weird Al, in my opinion, is probably the best, smartest artist out there.
He's great. I absolutely love Weird Al.
I do too.
And he seems like such a nice guy too.
Yeah, exactly. He just sold out Madison Square Garden last night, I believe, or the night before. So
that doesn't surprise
fantastic. Me. Yes.
I have his box set on cassette. And I have his box set on cassette. It's like 4 or 6 cassettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. We went to Ohio because my wife's family is in Kentucky, and so the Cincinnati area, the Cincinnati airport is in Kentucky. So we stayed up in Middletown, which is about an hour from the airport. So we went to Kings Island. I went to the concert in Dayton, and then we did the Cincinnati Zoo on Tuesday, and then the Columbus Zoo on Wednesday. The Columbus Zoo is made famous by Jack Hanna. So either way, it was a fantastic. Week, fantastic vacation. So, and then when I got back, I felt like I needed a vacation from the vacation. So, just goes to it. But I did watch all of General Hospital while I was on vacation. Um, so,
Nice.
hi, Chad. Welcome to the chat. Yes, Weird Al is fantastic. I'm glad that you like him too. We will get to Joss and Vaughn. I know that the chat is already starting with Joss and Vaughn and wanting to get to that. So we'll get there. Don't you worry. Um, so yes, Madison Square Garden to get there. Practice. I mean, Bruno Sammartino sold it out. Something like 40 or more times in a row. So either way, for Weird Al, I know he shared that the first time he played there, he was an opening act for some band, and he was like booed out of the building. So, anywho, now that he's back there and selling it out is just absolutely awesome. Hi, Taiwan. Welcome to the chat. We're doing very well back after a week. And we're not going to be doing Gate Crashers tonight. This is going to be the only show because of the fact that Kim couldn't make it. And like I said, GH has been GHing and been fantastic this entire time. So we're going to devote our entire time tonight to General Hospital. Anyways, but I will touch a little bit on Beyond the Gates because there's a couple things I want to touch on.
I just have to tell you guys something really quickly, something that's very funny that just happened. I'm sure you guys heard my phone ringing. And
Yes.
as always, it was one of my children. And I sent it to text message and I said, I'm podcasting. And she replied, I know, I just need the code that Netflix just sent you.
Well, she's probably trying to watch Monday Night Raw. So, I mean,
she's absolutely not trying to watch Monday Night Raw. But seriously, I know you're podcasting, but Netflix.
Yeah.
This child just turned 27. I can't. I cannot with this kid.
My son was with us. My 19-year-old son was with us for our first half of our vacation, simply because he wanted to go to Kings Island because he loves the roller coasters. So he wanted to specifically go for that. He didn't care about the zoos or anything, but he did want to go for Kings Island. So he got to ride Orion like 2 or 3 times, Diamondback 2 or 3 times. So he's a daredevil. He does all that.
Yeah.
Hello, Susan. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome to the chat. Same thing happens in my house, says Yvonne. So, we've got kids that just always want to come first. Which kids should come first, but still.
I love them. I worship my I love my children, but seriously, you absolutely need the Netflix password or the code right now. Dude, stop changing what you're signing in on.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Exactly.
I can't.
That's what it boils down to. All right. So we missed a lot, last week. So we are going to get started now. We might as well start with Joss and Vaughn because it's already come up in the chat. Billy already posted, hi everyone, why is Joss storyline the same Dex 2.0?
It's not.
Donna says Sexy Dexy was very successful. Why not copycat it? And Billy says, because Vaughn is ugly. Well, I don't know about that.
Here's my thing. It's not the same. This was not the story that was Dex and Joss's story. I understand that Dex was, blonde and whatever, but this is not the same story at all in any way, shape, or form. And I love you guys, but stop it. You should know, I should probably warn you, it was beach day with the kids I nanny. I went to 2 different beaches. We went to the same park twice at 2 different times and a lot of other stuff. So I'm like, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like it when I'm angry. Kaiwan, what did I just say? What did I just say, Kaiwan? Dex was not a boring character. They didn't get rid of him because they couldn't make him cheat on Joss. And that is absolutely not at all what happened. We're not going to get into what happened right now, but Evan was not the problem. And neither was Eden before anybody starts. Oh my God, I really probably should not be doing this tonight. I'm going to alienate half our audience. I'm sorry. I'm not, but I'm sorry for you, Vinny. I'm not sorry.
That's all right. But you know what? It's probably those takes that helped us get landed on 3 different top podcasting lists. I woke up to the news yesterday morning. Million Podcasts, which I guess ranks all the podcasts and also helped connect podcasters with their contact information, all that. They rank podcasts. And so yesterday I actually posted about 2, but found out we're actually on a 3rd as well. So I found out that we are number 20 on the list of top 30 soap opera podcasts, right behind 10th Floor. So there are good buddies, there are friends, and they are going to be presenters of the Suds Awards on August 1st, so only a couple weeks away. So that's awesome. Then I found out that even with the little bit of WWE stuff that I talk about on here, and probably some help from the Chair Shot group as well, we ranked number 50 of the top 100 WWE podcasts on that list. And then I found out later on that we came in number 8 of the top 20 General Hospital podcasts. So congratulations all around. Thank you all for yes.
And you think that part of that is because I'm such a bitch?
I think it's
I love it.
I would say it's more because of our colorful attitudes. So I think that's what it boils down to. But either way, I really want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. And we're going to just keep on growing, as they say. Kaiwan says, let's see.
We love doing this.
Yes, exactly. We do. I like Dex at first, but they built Milk. I like they built no character with him. They made him more Jason clone. And when Jason came back, they discovered it was like if he was Michael Jason, that would have been. They didn't want to do that because they didn't think outside the box.
Well, it wasn't that. It was that Steve Burton didn't want Jason to have a son that was that grown.
Really?
Because he thought it made him look old. Even though he has a child that's over it is I'm pretty sure she's of drinking age.
Yeah.
Oh, however, it is what it is.
But they had so many places to go with
I loved that he was a Jason clone. He was always a Jason clone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's my thing. I think that they could still very easily bring him back.
They could.
He's an easy one to bring back from the dead, in my opinion. Because the WSB's involved. Or, you know what I mean? The WSB had its hand in something.
Yep.
And, I think absolutely they could bring him back. So, we'll see.
Well, thank you, Donna. Donna says, I think we need a ship name for Vinny and Angela. And I suggest it be the Wrestling Soapiness. Actually, that's a pretty good name for a podcast. Oh, okay. I like that.
I know, right? Yeah, the Wrestling Soapiness. I just have to learn about wrestling is the thing. Vinny is the man. He knows both. I only know soaps. And I'm trying. I am. I haven't had a lot of time to devote to it, but that will stop and I'll do better in the fall. I promise. Once these boys go back to school.
Yeah. But you know what? Honestly, there's a lot of wrestling on nowadays. I mean, there were 4 big events this past weekend alone. Saturday was WWE's NXT's Great American Bash, and then WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. And then Saturday was also AEW's All In Texas. And then Sunday night was WWE's Evolution, which was the all-female pay-per-view, or PLE. So there was a lot of wrestling on this weekend alone. So there's a lot that, if you're going to literally watching wrestling and soap operas, it's a full-time job just trying to watch everything.
Right.
So I give credit to the people.
And I like that. I mean, it's a good work if you can get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you're exactly
it's
right.
a lot.
Yeah. But either way, we were talking about Joss and Vaughn. So we saw that Anna Devane decided she's going to pull a background check on Vaughn, because Vaughn has been hanging around with Emma. And Vaughn has been flirting with Emma because of the quote-unquote public breakup between he and Joss. I like it. I am loving this story.
And I saw somebody earlier in the chat asked why it was okay with Joss, but all of a sudden the age difference with Emma. And the age difference with Emma is because Anna's throwing a fit about it.
Right.
Which is a little hypocritical because there was a big age difference between Anna and Robert.
Yeah, I could tell.
I think
there's got to be like 15, 20
like
years.
Yeah, I think it's at least 15 years.
So yeah, I think that.
But it's Anna's protective of her granddaughter and is doing her thing.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, and I know you didn't watch today's episode, but Jack did bring up the fact that if Vaughn's background was squeaky clean, she would pick up on it in a minute that there was something suspicious about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, she would.
So, yep. And even today, Felicia brought up. Yeah, even today, Felicia brought up the age difference between Robert and Anna.
Right. But, at the same time, who among us wouldn't be hypocritical when it came to our kids or our grandkids? Especially because, right. Come on, Robert and Anna, they ended up friends and yada, 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 but they were a human dumpster fire for them, most of their romantic relationship. So yes. I could see, Anna going, look, learn from my mistakes. Not that they ever do, but, not right. that anybody ever wants to learn from their mother or their grandmother's mistakes or anything like that. But, Anna's a hypocrite, but it's also, no, it's not confirmed that they'll be a couple. They could, but it's not confirmed that they will.
Right.
He could end up looking for Emma for real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that old trope. So. And
even Chad points out that Brennan doesn't underestimate how great of an agent that Anna is, because I think there's a healthy respect.
There is a healthy respect. My thing is that it should be how great an agent Anna was, because now she's just incompetent. Because that happens when you go to the PCPD. You have to turn in exchange for your gun and your badge, you give them your brain.
I guess you're right about that.
Yeah.
I thought he always looked older, Steve, because Steve says he looked Joss's age to me until Anna said he wasn't. I don't think there's a 10-year age gap. I would say maybe 5 between Joss and Vaughn, maybe
Oh,
5
there's
years.
actually more than that. Vaughn is in his mid-30s. There's
Oh,
at
wow.
least Vaughn is the same age as Josh Swickard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he's that age range. So there is.
Donna says some people want Joss with a woman. I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. I feel
I'd
like
be
they
fine
dropped.
with it too. It's just, I mean, I know that a lot of people want her with Trina, but I'm like, at this point, I'm like, no, I do not want her with Trina. I love Trina, but she's working my nerves. We'll get to that.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get into that. Why is Trina working your nerves?
She is absolutely hypocritical about what she's saying to Kai about Drew, because Ava was directly responsible for, owns a lot of the responsibility for Morgan's death.
Yes.
After that, and her and Joss were friends before Morgan died.
Yes. Yep.
Trina went and, was doing the internship with her, and Joss was like, wow, she killed my brother. And, she's like, well, and she gave Joss this like real bitchy lecture about how not all of them had trust funds and yada, yada. Although, she was the daughter of a doctor.
Right. Yeah.
She wasn't eating, government. She wasn't on section, she had money too, but, and that she had to take her opportunities but she was like, I know who Ava is. I'm just doing this internship, yada, yada. But now her and Ava are besties. Ava's like a second mother to her.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, can anybody in this, anybody in the universe say that if she walked in on Joss talking to Carly, or Carly talking to somebody about doing something to destroy Ava's life, she wouldn't tell Ava?
You're right. I didn't think about that angle.
Running to Ava. And her experience with Ava is not Joss's. But she knew Joss's experience with Ava going in.
Yes.
And still became very close to her. And Joss has had to suck it up. And she has sucked it up. She doesn't give Trina shit about it.
Yep.
She doesn't. She could. If it was my bestie, I'd be like, dude, how's my brother's murderer treating you lately? You know what I mean? I'd never let it go. But Ross doesn't give her shit about it.
Yep.
But
you're absolutely right.
I didn't shit about Jason, even though Jason ain't done shit to Trina. And Drew, I know people make, a lot of laughs about, how, but what did Drew do to Trina? Or her family? Let's see. He kind of maybe fucked over Curtis for a job that he never promised him.
Correct.
He never promised him that job. Curtis was there temporarily while Michael was dealing with the Quartermain stuff, or the ELQ stuff. Yeah. Because Drew was running for the thing. He never told Curtis that was going to be his permanent job. And even if he implied it, okay, it was. And then blackmailing, Trina's mother to get Curtis to be nicer to him.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. This is my same thing. And I understand Drew's a bad guy. I'm loving Drew bad guy. I would love him to stay it. But these people that are calling for his death are ridiculous.
Oh, God, that's absolutely.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I can't take that.
He had an affair. We got Ava, who has literally committed cold-blooded murder. We got Sonny. We got Jason walking around free as a bird. But Drew's head needs to be on a platter. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Get better at soap opera watching, please. I'm begging you.
Well, that's just it, and I want to bring that up because I'm going to be doing a PLE probably after the Suds Awards. There's going to be a Friday night PLE where I'm putting together a roundtable of soap opera podcasters to talk about the evolution of the soap audience and how it's changed from coming up through the years 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to today, and just how, I don't know, is it just, I mean, we know the vocal minority is on Twitter, on social media. We know that.
It's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on the message boards, and they are the vocal minority.
Right.
The majority of the viewing audience, I know, just turns on their soap and watches it every day.
Yes.
But it's just, I mean, I see people who say that they have been watching this show for 30 years, 40 years, and they're saying this shit. And I'm just like, are you sure it was this show you were watching? Because,
right.
Well, yeah, okay, people are articulate and have opinions, but when people are saying shit like somebody who had an affair on a soap opera needs to fucking die.
Right.
And so many of them don't want people to be messy. It's a soap opera.
Exactly.
And then we get shit like, well, Willow was cured. Willow's cancer journey was not completely accurate. It's a soap opera.
Correct.
Or this story is dragging out. It's been 6 months. I'm just like, are you sure you've watched General Hospital for 30 years?
Yeah.
If a story that's been this show is on 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, possibly a few preemptions, a small handful of reruns on some holidays.
Yep.
They can't wrap stories up in a week. It's not a very special episode of General Hospital. It's not a primetime season.
Yep.
Things drag out for a long time. That is how it goes. And
yeah. And Fight Star says the people that want Drew to die don't like Cameron Matheson or Cameron Matheson's Drew. Here's the thing, and I'm going to put this out there because this is what pisses me off. Billy Miller was a fan favorite. Billy Miller is somebody who people liked. I get that, and he was a fantastic actor. However, the thing is that even if Billy Miller came back to GH as Drew, and the writing team wrote this for him, it would be the same character, the same dialogue, the same premise, the same story. Now, Cameron Matheson is a different type of actor. I can believe Cameron Matheson as a bad guy villain more than I would have been able to believe Billy Miller as a bad guy villain. But I never saw Billy Miller as a villain. So I can't say one way or the other. The fact is that Billy Miller no longer, was not cast as Drew the second time around.
And so he didn't want to be.
Right, exactly.
He wanted to be Billy Miller. He chose to leave the show. Yes. And I know that there are people who say they screwed him over by, taking Jason away from him and making him Drew. But, that's showbiz. That's, and they didn't screw him over. No. He did not own that character. He didn't own the rights to it. And I'm not saying that he did anything wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, and I don't think that he ever publicly said that they screwed him over. But I'm saying that there are fans that say they screwed him over by taking Jason away from him or whatever. But they own the character of Jason. They decide who plays the character of Jason.
Right.
There are Burton fans that were pissed that they ever cast somebody else as Jason. But again, I say, Burton doesn't own the character of Jason.
Yep.
Exactly. And Billy Miller chose to leave. And doesn't never get to recast the character again.
And Quiet Star, that's the point. Just like Donna just said, we're supposed to not like the Drew character. Right. He is a villain. He is a heel. He is not supposed to be liked. Hey, Jeannie, welcome to the chat.
Love to hate.
Yeah.
And I very much love to hate thing. Another thing I want to say, I understand that people think that he's a horrible villain, but here's the thing. There are things that are objectively facts. Cameron Matheson plays the character of Drew Quartermain.
Yep.
Or whatever. Drew Kane, whatever. That is an objective fact.
Yep.
Here's what's subjective. Cameron Matheson is handsome. Cameron Matheson is ugly. Cameron Matheson is talented. Cameron Matheson's a bad actor. Cameron Matheson has chemistry with this person. Cameron Matheson has no chemistry. Those things are subjective. What how you view a character is not how others are going to view him.
Right.
And you can say that you don't think that this about it, but you can't say it as an objective fact because you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because those things are not objective, they are subjective. Yeah. And I understand is that you want to like Drew, and I like Drew and Carly, but the thing is that Drew was boring.
Yeah.
He's no longer boring. And I mean, and I love Drew and Carly, but it was also, I felt, like that meme of, the stick characters poking something with a stick. Come on, do something. Yep. That was me with Drew. That's me with a lot of characters on the show. And it's not like I think everybody has to be messy.
But that's the same thing with Willow. Willow is more interesting now with this entire story.
I mean, people were rooting for this actress or the character to die of cancer because she was so freaking boring.
I'll admit it.
When people are rooting for the cancer, that's, now, she's great. And Caitlin and a lot of the actors, they prefer to play things like this because it's more fun and they get to stretch their acting chops more. And do, you know what I mean? It's more than just... It's why, Steve has told them many times that if they ever make him Jason Quartermain again and take away Jason Morgan, he'd leave.
Well,
he doesn't want to play Jason Quartermain. He'll play like a hybrid, but Jason Quartermain was fucking boring.
Well, I mean, you point out there that, a lot of the actors like playing characters that are edgy. They're able to, they like to have the messiness because it's easier to make people hate you. You can go out there, you can say whatever you want, you can make fun of the crowd, you can make fun of the audience, you can make fun of everybody, and making people hate you is so easy. Making people like you, that's the hard part because you have to stay in a certain line. Look at, and again, I'm going to equate it to wrestling. Cody Rhodes right now. Cody Rhodes is a baby face, but people are kind of turning on him because he's always that good guy. John Cena for the longest time until this past WrestleMania and before, John Cena for the past 20 years has been that preeminent good guy, and people were starting to resent him because he was towing the company line. He turns heel at Elimination Chamber. Granted, because of The Rock and Travis Scott's involvement, it was like a fart in church. But he turns heel, and all of a sudden, he's more interesting. And, and this past feud with CM Punk going into Night of Champions, fantastic. I'm sorry, I'll get off my wrestling soapbox. But
it's okay.
It's the truth. More people will hate you. It's easier to make people hate you than make people love you.
But this is also why. This is also why the show counts people bitching about something the same way they count people praising something. If you're talking about it, you're engaged. Whether you love it, whether you hate it. If you are talking about it, you're engaged. You're watching, and that's all they want.
Yep.
I love Mac. Love Mac. He is a really nice guy. I don't want him to be a lead character. Mac Scorpio, as he is right now, and Mac used to be messy and shady as fuck. But Mac Scorpio today, I could not watch him as a lead character. It would be boring.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? Him and Felicia, Felicia too. Same with Felicia. It's boring. The only time, I mean, they're fine for the characters they are now because you need those steady characters in those older roles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But they can't, I couldn't even imagine. And I'm not saying that it wasn't good to watch them back then because they were they did mess. But now there's no mess with them. And it's just like, they're fine for what they are, but they're not why
I loved the story with Felicia and Mac when they were taking the advice of Manlanders and they were spicing up their relationship.
Yes.
That was cute. I like that.
And those are cute things, but they're not front burner storyline. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they're not
exactly. Right.
And it's I just and I don't want to watch that show.
Yeah, me either.
I didn't watch Kevin.
You're right.
I didn't watch, a lot of things like that. It's not my bag. I like soap operas.
Yes. Don't worry, Quiet Star. I'm not going to say anything terrible about Triple H because I like him too. And I've met him and he's a really nice guy. So I can't say anything bad about Triple H. And I'm enjoying what he's doing with WWE right now. But anyway, that's why I like that John Lindstrom is on Beyond the Gates as Joey Armstrong. His character there is so much more intriguing than Kevin Collins.
Amazing, exactly. And I mean, and Kevin's fine, but yes. Ryan was better.
Oh yeah, much better.
Anybody not think that Ryan was a more fun character? Yeah, he's a psychopath, but come on. He was a fun psychopath. And that's more fun. It just is. To me, anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree. Ryan was so much better on GH than Kevin. Kevin was good, but he wasn't, that character.
Again, just like with Mac, there was a time. You know what I mean? There was absolutely a time where, he, like with Mac, like with Felicia, absolutely. Yes. That time has passed. And that's just how it goes.
All right, let's move on. We're having a really good conversation, but we're not actually getting the news out of General Hospital.
Okay, so we were talking about Kai and Trina, and I understand completely her, I'm defending my family, yada, yada, yada. But, I don't think he went right to Curtis and told him.
He did, and you know what? I liked that.
He didn't try to hide it. He went. He didn't even. It wasn't even like he went to Trina and begged for her forgiveness or begged her to advocate for her death. He went. He was a man, and he went to Curtis and he said, "Listen, this is what I did, and why I did it." And he, like Trina, bases Ava on how Ava is with her.
Yep.
Is like Kai basing Drew on how Drew is to him.
No, exactly. I completely agree with you.
And I know that a lot of people have thought that Drew is using Kai for his image and stuff like that. And it's possible, but I really think that they're kind of using Kai for Drew as the same kind of character or as the same kind of dynamic as they used Trina to soften Ava a little bit.
Could be, yeah.
And redeem Ava a little bit because a lot of people love the Trina and Ava relationship. Mm-hmm. And they love how great Ava is with her and yada, yada, yada. And that helps the character of Ava.
Yes.
Even though she is a cold-blooded murderer. And I say that with all the love in the world because I love the character of Ava. Love her. Yes. Yeah. Even when she's going head-to-head with my girl.
Yeah.
So.
Well, ask and you shall receive. Um, and let's see. Donna, I think Donna had asked, where's Anya? And there is Anya, who
Oh,
says,
wifey.
hi, Vinny, who asks for me? So you were
All of
missed
us.
in the chat today.
Everybody.
Um, but I do want to bring up the idea that uh, Ty went to Curtis because I agree with you. I think that was so fantastic of him
It
as
was.
a man.
Mhm.
Um, so, you know, that's something you knew. Normally, you'd stab somebody in the back and just not say anything about it. So I really enjoy
Yeah,
that. Um, that
especially in the soap opera.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Um,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
no, you're exactly right.
I too
Um,
absolutely love it. So
and Donna, just to let you know, I'm not sure if Anya can see your chat because she's on X and you're on YouTube, but I will post it. Donna said she was missing her friend.
yes.
Um, but
Donna and Anya are both, and Quiet Star, who's also blue. Oh, my poor brother. Sorry, my brother's texting me about his car problems. I swear to God, it's just
nonstop.
so nice to be so loved and popular. It is. I love my family. Anyway, they're all part of the Jarley group.
Okay.
They're all part of my crazy Jarleys, who I had to beg
Very nice.
forgiveness from this morning.
So Steve says that I know GH has a tight budget, but with all Kai went through, we never saw his parents. Yeah, but which I agree. They should have given him some more roots. But I like where it's going because you know the fact that now there's some angst between Trina and Kai. Um, it's going to make this story between Drew and Curtis even better. I
Yeah.
think that's probably going to be one of the biggest things. Um,
And I'm just like, she just, I mean, Kai, I get, like, I know that a lot of the Sabrina fans were like, yay, 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 haha, she's softer. I'm like, that man, he lied to her about his name. That man
yes.
was lying to her from day one.
Yep.
So, dude.
All right. So before we get into more GA, they did announce the daytime Emmy nominees this past week. Laura Wright is up for outstanding lead actress in a drama. So congratulations. But there was so much. I don't know. I don't want to say hate, but there was so much, dislike in the Twitterverse because, um, because of the woman from Days, Susan Hayes,
Fourth Hayes,
not
yes.
yeah, Susan C. Hayes not getting nominated.
Okay. Susan C. Hayes was phenomenal. Her husband, I don't know if you don't watch Days, but her husband,
Right.
Bill Hayes, played
in real life.
And,
Yep.
and he had been on the show and they had been married for and when he died, it was phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, she was mourning her husband in real time. I mean, it was was beautiful. But here's the thing. Donna is incredibly correct. Days fucked up. Days submitted her for lead. And I know that one of the Days actors, or one of the Days writers, Amy Shaughnessy, said, she's the one who said that they submitted her for lead. And some people were like, but she's supporting. And she said, the work was lead and the work is what the work is. That's not how it works.
Right.
It's not about a scene. It's not about a set of scenes. It is about your lead or your supporting based on your entire category of work or catalog of work for that year.
Yeah.
And Susan C. Hayes was phenomenal. Susan C. Hayes is not a lead on Days of Our Lives. She was. Many, many years ago, she absolutely was. She no longer is. and if they had submitted her in supporting, they wouldn't even have had to. I mean, I don't even know if any other nominee would have gotten a vote. But everybody, the thing is that the people that are voting on these are members of the soap community. They know that this is a supporting actress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that Days fucked up, and I don't think the Emmys screwed over, or the Emmy voters screwed over Susan Seaworth Hayes. I think her show did by submitting her in lead. And I don't know if you read it or not, but she released the most gracious statement about the whole thing to just kind of put an end to the negativity about it, because she didn't want to take away from the actresses who were nominated for lead.
Right.
And that woman is a class act.
Yeah, I did see that, and I saw that she did put out a statement, So, I mean, and I just hearing from what you're saying, I agree Days fucked up, because think about it. If you were to now granted, Nancy Lee Grahn was nominated.
I don't think Nancy Lee Grahn should have been in lead either.
And that's the thing. She should have been in supporting.
Now, the reason I think that Nancy Lee Grahn got passed for it is because there has been times that she had the lead amount of material for General Hospital, and she was a lead on Santa Barbara. So I think that like a lot of the Emmy voters will look at her name and think lead actress, which is weird because she has been submitted recently, but I don't think that they would blink at her submitting for lead. General Hospital lets their people decide what they're going to submit for.
Right.
And sometimes they will submit them if they don't want to submit for themselves. But they usually let them decide, and they let them pick their own reels and yada, yada, yada. So, Nancy thought that I mean, come on, she was phenomenal with Sam's death, without doubt.
Yep.
But, it's so funny because I see so many people saying, what did Laura Wright have to submit? And I'm like, are you high? Is it crack? Do you have a traumatic a TBI? Like, what?
Yeah.
She had a ton of stuff, and their reel can be no longer than 15 minutes long. Tops. That's it. 15 minutes. They don't submit a full episode. They submit scenes of their choosing that total no more than 15 minutes.
Wow.
And like a lot of the actors were talking about how most of the judges don't even watch most of the reels. So most of the actors try to keep their reels under 10 minutes. Laura said that hers clocked in at 9, but she had a ton of stuff around Bobby's death. The scenes with Drew when she found out were, I went back and rewatched them. I cried again. I'm not a crier. I cried the first time. I cried again. And I cried with Nancy Lee Grahn with Sam. But what else did she have aside from yelling at her children all year? Yeah. Carly had all the stuff around Bobby's death. Carly had a ton of stuff around Jason's return. I mean, the scenes when he first came back. And then as everything unfolded, the scenes and she submitted, and she said that she didn't just submit Bobby's death because she wanted to show a variety, which is what a lead should be able to do. So she submitted that. She submitted some stuff, I think, with Joss, and she submitted the scenes with Jason, when her and Jason up in his room, when she found out why he stayed gone and that Cates was trying to get him to leave again and was using her to blackmail him. And she, those were phenomenal scenes too. I mean, she had good stuff with Sunny. I mean, she had tons because she is the lead actress.
Yes.
She's not the only lead actress. I mean, she's not the only one, but she is definitively a lead. So she has a large variety. I don't know. I mean, I heard that Nancy Lee Grahn submitted some stuff around her getting her law license back, but I'm like, I mean, I remember those scenes, but I don't remember them being anything close to like incredibly dramatic, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that it's going to come down to, personally, I believe it's going to come down to between Nancy and Laura Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the times the shows will vote as a block for their own people.
Of course.
And Y&R has 4 in the lead actress category.
Yeah.
They're going to split the vote.
Yep.
And so more than likely, it's going to come down to Laura and Nancy. And I know that I'm a huge Carly stan, but I mean, I just think based on the variety of the work and,
and not just one main storyline.
Scenes that are, you know what I mean? I think that Laura deserves it. I think I think that her stuff was phenomenal. And I'm not saying that Nancy's wasn't. My thing is, I don't think Nancy belongs in lead. So no matter how phenomenal her Sam's death scenes were, I just don't think she was in the right category. So she's had 69 episodes that year?
Yeah.
It's not a lead. It's just not. And I think you need to submit in the category you're supposed to be in.
However,
and I know they don't have to, but.
However, I do want to give a shout out and a big congratulations to friend of the show who's been on our podcast-a-thon, Jacqueline Grace Lopez, who was nominated as Blaze for the supporting actress role. And I did text her on Blue Sky to congratulate her, and she said, "Thank you. I still cannot believe it."
Yes.
But I have to say though, I did see some controversy surrounding the supporting category for both men and women, and how 6 characters of 6 of the 12 nominees are no longer on the show, including Jacqueline Grace Lopez, Jonathan Jackson, Gregory Harrison, Esme, Avery Pohl,
and I get that, but this has happened for a long time. I mean, Steve Burton won his Emmy for Young and the Restless after he had already left the show. This, and I also saw a lot of people pissed off that Beyond the Gates wasn't nominated.
They started in February.
Exactly. And this was for...
And Michelle Valentine pointed that out.
This was for the calendar year of 2024.
Yeah.
Beyond the Gates didn't have anything to submit for 2024.
Right.
Next year they will. And I also saw some people going, well, they should have changed no, that's not. I understand they pushed the Emmys back and they're going to have to figure that out. Like the primetime Emmys go for a different time. I personally think they should just keep it year to year because I think other than that is too confusing. But whatever they decide to do. But the fact of the matter is that these were for 2024.
Yes.
Yep. And if the person was on the show in 2024.
Although I have to ask, in your opinion, what would Jonathan Jackson have been nominated for?
Again, 15 minutes of scenes they need, or less than 15 minutes. He had the stuff in the cell with when he thought he was dying.
Yep.
He had the stuff in the chapel with Laura, and stuff when he found out that he wasn't a match for Lulu.
Okay.
He had the scenes with Aiden when Aiden came out to him.
Mm-hmm.
JJ can put together a 15-minute reel quite easily.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me. But either way, they're coming up, I think, in September.
October.
October. So
I think they said October 17th. They're not being televised, and I'm very, very sad about that.
What?
They're streaming them. I mean, it's possible that they can. It's possible that they can change their minds. I'm surprised because I'm pretty sure it was CBS's turn to host them, and their shows have the most nominations of the soaps.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. And people were asking why Jane Elliott got snubbed from.
I don't think she submitted.
And that's what my thing is. I don't think she, because I think she said in an interview not too long ago that she didn't want to submit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she cares about it. You want to know what's really funny? Jane Elliott's never won one.
Really?
She's been nominated, but she's never won. I was looking back because, of course, people have to insult Laura Wright. all these years on the show, and she only has one. There are two actresses. There's one actress in General Hospital history who has two lead actress awards, and it's Finola Hughes.
Yeah.
Jeannie Francis has one Emmy. Laura Spencer. I know that Sarah Brown got a lot, but I mean, General Hospital lead actresses don't usually get it. Rebecca Hurst has never won one. Does Kelly Monaco have one, or did she? I mean, at most she had one, but it was for supporting. If she even got one, I don't think Kelly Monaco has one either. But it was like a very short list. Leslie Charlton. Does Leslie have one? I literally had made a list, and I don't have it with me because it was for a different conversation. But yeah, they just don't have. Yeah. They don't. General Hospital actresses, and I mean, honestly, there's Tony Geary. He won, a few in lead actor, but I don't know that the actors have done much better in that category. I know Mo has two, I think. Yeah. And I mean, Mo, he didn't even get a nomination. I was surprised because he had the breakdown stuff and the ghost scenes with women, and I know he submitted. Now, I don't know if Steve submitted because I think he may have submitted, but from what I heard, he wanted to, because Steve, even though he counts as a lead, in my opinion, he submits in supporting because he doesn't want to go against Mo because, whatever. But he didn't want to take it away from JJ.
Makes sense.
He wanted to give JJ, not that JJ's not going to get nominated. He is Emmy royalty. But he wanted to, from what I understand, he thought that JJ had more. And to be honest,
I like seeing some of these actors be selfless and, and stuff like that. But I will say that Jane Elliott is up for a Sudsy Award, and her feud with Drew and Character of the Year are both nominees for this year's Sudsy Awards, which take place live Friday, April 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here. And it's got a little bit of a special guest that is going to be on the Sudsy Awards. So you're going to have to stay tuned for that, a very special cameo, if you will. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep that date checked. Friday, August 1st, excuse me. 8 p.m. Eastern.
Did you push the Subsidy Awards back? I sound right now.
August 1st.
Did you push the Sudsy Awards back like the daytime Emmys did? Jesus. Jeannie, I am going to apply. I'm going to apply for press credentials for the red carpet again. I didn't apply for last year. I did them the year before that, but I am going to apply for press credentials for the red carpet again. And I won't be covering them for Parade. I don't know. Parade, it's weird because we're freelancers and they also have an internal team. So we're not allowed to do interviews or exclusives because we're freelancers, but nobody else does that stuff for soaps. So I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Michael Easton didn't get one.
Yes, agreed. Maybe he didn't submit.
Yeah, it's possible because I think he's he's probably decided that he's done because I haven't heard. He's kind of like Roger Howarth. Roger Howarth was like, I'm retiring. He wants to spend time with the grandbaby back east. So it's possible that Easton's done too, but we'll see. They're at that age where they could be. They could do what John Lindstrom does and write books. Did you guys hear that Lindstrom has a sequel coming? He's doing?
Yep, he's got another book coming out. And also, he's, from what I heard, Hollywood Hustle, his first book, is in the works for a movie.
Yep.
So, congratulations to friend of the show, John Lindstrom. But either way, the daytime Emmys are going to be great. The Sudsies are going to be great as well. Remember, Sudsies combine wrestling and soap operas. So stay tuned for that. We got a who's who of wrestling and soap opera podcasters as presenters. Not only myself and Angela and Kim, but also our former co-host Christy is going to be a presenter as well. We have the newest member of the Chair Shot Media Group, Dump. Her name is. She's going to be, coming up. Danny Loves Wrestling. She's going to be on the Dark Until Dawn podcast. John from Chair Shot Sports, Big Mike from the Run-In, Princess Jessie B from the Lowdown. So either way, we've got a lot of Matt and Kat from the 10th floor are going to be on here. George Ryan, who was on Big Crashes with us a couple of months ago, he will be a presenter.
That's really the wrong time to tell me that.
But
look at him. He doesn't want to meet my eye. He doesn't want to meet my eyes. He's like, I'm just going to keep my head down.
And Donald Peoples Jr. as well. So we do have a lot of the soap opera and wrestling podcasters coming on to be presenters as well.
I also want to say, I think Dominic was phenomenal, and he absolutely he is a lead on GH.
Yep.
I thought his stuff was phenomenal. Sadly, I think it's Peter Bergman's to lose.
Okay.
I think it's Peter Bergman's to lose, but we'll see. I think Dom's stuff was better. What?
Where did the daytime Emmys take place? Is it out in Hollywood?
Yeah, they were. I can't remember where they were. They were in a hotel. One of the a little bit fancier hotels. Last time when I was there last time, usually they haven't. I don't know that they've announced where they are yet this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
No. But yeah, I'm very happy for Dom.
It would be nice if they were at Radio City Music Hall, because I know they used to be at one point.
God, wouldn't that be phenomenal? Then we could both go.
Yeah.
Well, get that thing, get on that thing and get that thing, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Do it for that. We'll just do it like that. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm being mysterious.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of mysterious.
Okay.
I found out something that's a little bit potentially spoiler-esque.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of the times, because I get a lot of my casting stuff right as far as who's coming. I called it. I know I don't get everything right, but I also told you guys Natalia was leaving in a body bag, but she wasn't being murdered.
Yeah.
And I was the first one who figured out Rory.
Yep.
And I wasn't told about Rory from a source. Rory posted a picture from a dressing room, and I said, that's a GH dressing room. I think that might even be Burton's dressing room. And I went to Rory's Instagram, and I saw that he was following Frank and Mark Teschner. And on Instagram, you can see their more recent follows are up top. Yeah. And he's following Katie McMullen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, he's Michael.
Yep.
And I was right. Now, so there's been a lot of talk about the casting work. Can you turn that down just to hear? Actually, I got the remote for the turn down, honey. My one of my nanny kids is watching the Jurassic Park series and the first trilogy, the first three, and it can be really loud. And they just got here. I let them spend the night during the week so they can sleep in. Anyway. And it was just turned it back on my bed. I'm like, oh, this is going to go down. So I've been, when I heard that the casting war is continuing to go on, because we know that Billy Flynn went to YNR, and one of the YNR characters is now going to Days and taking over his character. So, yes, Sophia is leaving. She has filmed her last.
Yes.
She's done. The door is open for her to return. They are not recasting. I know that people think that they're recasting with Victoria Konefal. They're not. And I don't think
wow.
She was Sierra on Days.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
For some reason, I know what it is. Somebody on Daytime Dish, an anonymous person said that. But here's the thing. We are, and by we, I'm not just, it's the we that get that do have sources.
Yeah.
Some of the first people that know that new people are coming on are various crew members.
Yeah.
Wardrobe, hair, makeup. They get told before these people even come in, so they can prepare the things that they need for those people.
Yes.
The person who assigns dressing rooms.
Yes.
Gets told. So I am not going to burn a source. I'm saying there are a lot of people on the crew who know about people who are coming before even other actors do, because there are a lot of behind the scenes things that have to get done before they arrive.
Yeah.
And the people who would know if she was coming to GH, one of them literally had to Google her when asked.
So that's a no.
I don't think she's coming to GH unless it's something that was like, or unless they're like negotiating it now and it looks like it's going to sign, so those people wouldn't have been notified. Like, they're dark right now, so they're not shooting.
Right.
But people would still be notified.
Yeah.
Because they still have to be getting things ready. But yeah, but there are 3 actors from other shows, 2 from Days and 1 from YNR, that are newly following Frank Valentini.
Ooh, okay.
And 1 also newly following Mark Teschner.
Ooh, okay.
So I am watching their Instagrams. Hey, pull it together. If they have any new, will you take them out real quick? Because they're going to keep barking. I have been following their Instagrams to see if they have any new GH follows showing up. But the Frank ones are new for them. One of them is Carrie Christopher, who plays Thomas DeMera. He's a little kid. He plays Thomas DeMera on Days of Our Lives. He was nominated for an Emmy the last year of the Younger Actor category. He's really good. And he's the one who's following Frank and Mark Teschner. And Mark Teschner is the casting director for General Hospital.
Yeah.
And he has also been talking about how he has a new project coming up.
Ooh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if I could see him coming on as aged up Wiley, because he's a couple years older than the actor now, and he's brunette.
Yeah.
So he'd look more similar to Michael.
Makes sense.
And that kid is a good little actor. And I could see him. I don't know who else he would play unless they were bringing on somebody else, a new family or something. But I could definitely see him playing an aged up Wiley.
Yeah.
I mean, not totally aged. I think he's only like 10 or whatever.
Yeah, but still older than the current.
Right, older than the current kid. Yeah. And I'm here for it. That kid is good. And this is no shade towards Byron, but this kid is really, really good. Now, the other one is an actress who's been on Days for a long time, and she has a pretty iconic role. However, she's underutilized.
Okay.
Severely at Days of Our Lives. She is a massive talent. She plays a great character who's messy. She actually plays multiple characters. So those of you who, it wouldn't be Leo. Leo's already older than this kid would be. Leo is at this point, Leo's got to be coming up onto his teens because he was like 12 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's not Judy. Although I wouldn't be surprised with Judy, but I'm not, it's hard to keep an eye on her because she's already friends with a lot of people from GH and yada yada. It's Stacey Haddock who plays.
Wow.
Yes, who plays Kristen DiMera.
Underutilized? She's like in everything.
She's not.
Really?
She'll go weeks without being on.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, really, she does. And I would, oh my God.
That could be fantastic.
I don't care who she plays. Bring her.
Yeah.
She is such a talent. Bring her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who she plays. I really don't.
Yeah.
So she's a new follow for Frank. And now so these are people I'm watching. I'm not saying that they're definitely coming to GH. They're just people I'm keeping an eye on.
Yep.
And just keep it in the back of your head and I'll keep you guys updated. It's hard to get total info right now since they're dark. Yeah. But believe me, August 1st, I'm going to be the most annoying freaking person to those crew members. And who's new? Anyway, and the last one is an incredibly long-term vet, like I think 70s, at the very least early 80s, for Young and the Restless. However, she's also recurring.
Yep.
She's hardly used. And her birthday was in May, and she made a post about realizing in her life at this age, it was about letting things go that no longer work for you. Relationships, jobs. I mean, it was a very, she recently started following Frank. And in that birthday post, she said that she has some things coming, she has a couple projects coming up. Some people knew about, and some they didn't, that she couldn't talk about yet. And it's Tracy Bregman, who plays Lauren.
Wow.
She's newly following Frank. And again, I don't care who she plays.
Yeah.
I don't care who she plays. Bring her on as I'm here for it. She is a phenomenal soap actress. I am here for it. And I know we have a big, huge cast, but here's the thing. We're not going to not have a big, huge cast. So let's have a big, huge cast of these phenomenal actors. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's do it. So all three of them are newly following Frank. Carrie is also following Mark. Now, Tracy Bregman and Stacey Haddock wouldn't probably have to go through Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has a part in all casting decisions, but it's not like they'd be coming in for cold auditions.
Right, yeah.
They'd come in for screen tests, but not cold auditions. Harry Christopher, on the other hand, even though he's making a name for himself, he's a kid, and, he'd still go through Mark. But I'm keeping an eye on them. You guys keep an eye on them. If you hear anything or see any new follows or whatever, if these are actors you like, drop me a line. And I didn't get these from anywhere else. It was just, oh my God, can you imagine? Because Jack's going to be out. Can you imagine they bring Tracy Bregman on? Or Tracy Bregman would also be a great chief of staff for the hospital. Like chief of staff. Oh my, I mean, I am giddy at the thoughts of these things. I can't tell you guys.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I mean, any of them.
You could bring Stacey Haddock in as a villainess. I mean, she plays Kristen DiMera to a T. But even the fact that she does a dual role.
What about a younger Jerome sister?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she looks like more. She's got
exactly. Ava's Aspen sister. I talked to her too. You talk about Queen. I talked to her too. So, but another child has texted. We now have 2 children, 1 sibling, and this one wants to know if I have any money.
So
Anyway.
Quiet Star brings this up. What about a Nina recast? I haven't heard about Cynthia Watros leaving.
I don't think Cynthia's leaving, and if she was, it would be because they were writing Nina out.
So yeah, I don't think that's a possibility. I mean, I don't think that Nina would be somebody that would be recast again, unless again.
I don't. I mean, they're not really doing a whole lot with her right now, and I can't see Cynthia wanting to leave.
Right.
So unless she had, I mean, and I'm not saying she does. I'm like, the only reason I would think that they would recast is if Cynthia left for a health issue or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could also see Tracy Bregman coming. No, none of my kids are that fun. $30 so she can get Chili's. And now we have the sad face emojis.
Oh well.
I do have $30. Yes. So I could see her coming up. Sorry, these kids. I'm so sorry, and they know. They know. I tell them. I would put it on Do Not Disturb, but they know how to get past it.
Oh,
they know to continue. Notify anyway, or to call 3 times in a row. I could also see her being the head of a cosmetics company that's going up against Deception.
I mean, we still don't know who Erica Slezak is going to be playing when she comes on.
Yeah, I heard that there's a strong rumor that she's going to be Monica's sister. I really don't love it because Monica was very, very clear that she was an orphan. So if she's Monica's sister, Monica didn't know about her. It would be a huge rewrite to say Monica did, and I
like the idea of her coming in as
of that with them changing that history without Monica here to play it.
Right, exactly.
You know, honestly, I'd rather them have her come in as one of Edward's previously unknown children.
Makes sense.
Something like that, because at least Jane's there to play it.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Ooh. You know who she could be if they were going to make her be a recast that would interact with the Quartermains? I mean, I want her to be Jack Brennan's mother.
Right.
But if they're not, have her come on as Susan Moore, Jason's mother.
Yeah.
That would interact with the Quartermains. That would interact with Jason. That would interact with, Jane Elliott. There's a whole, so I could see that one. And I know that she's short term, but I wouldn't be surprised because I think Frank would love to have her stick around longer. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, hell.
I would definitely, I was thinking that Taiwan posted it, that I was being, I would love them to bring on Christian LeBlanc, too. Even if they can pair them together, Christian is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I would love him to come on. Absolutely.
That would be great.
She's not going to start taping until October. And we know that because Chris McKenna was talking about that they texted and she told him that she can't wait to see him in October. Okay, you thought Susan. All right, Blue, I'm going to need you to come here, Blue, because I need to slap you. I don't think she could come back as Vicky, but she's not. She's not Vicky. They're not.
Couldn't they bring back Robin Strasser too as Dorian?
Oh my God! Please. Although I actually was talking on Twitter with Robin Strasser about it. I could also see her being a great chief of staff, like real mean, no nonsense. Oh God.
I mean, hell, if they brought Blair back, and Blair being the ex-wife of David Vickers, who was Dorian's ex-husband as well. I mean, that could be some pretty good comedy right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, a lot of fantasy booking going on. But before we get into any more fantasy booking, I do have a question because we're about to hop in our DeLorean, and we're
sending you back to the future.
We are going to turn it over to Professor Angela as we talk about history and general hospital history. So
we have a lot to catch up on.
Yes.
We're going back to June 30th. The last time we did it was June 29th.
June 29th, yeah, right.
2011, because we had done the Sunday show or something. Okay. June 30th, 2011. Tyler Christopher last appeared as Nicholas Cassidy, which is kind of a sad one because, he's passed now. But also, June 30th, 2022, Willow told Michael that she was pregnant. July 1st, 1982, Emma Samms debuted as Holly Sutton. In 1994, Maxie found out that she had BJ's heart. And in 2004, Jason and Sam learned that the baby that she was pregnant with that was Sunny's was a girl. July 2nd, 2004, Rick kissed Alexis for the first time. July 3rd, 2008, Lulu witnessed Logan attacking Maxie. July 4th. It was so funny because there were 9 gazillion of these, like 9 million different years for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, where they said, Port Charles residents celebrated Independence Day. I mean, there was so many of them, but I
can imagine.
In July 4th, 1995, everyone read parts of the Declaration of Independence and then enjoyed the fireworks as Mary May sang. In 2000, Emily woke up next to a dead body. I'm sure that does everybody remember Dead Ted? It was so funny. We put him in the freezer. I'm like, oh my God, the freaking Scooby Gang back then. In 2002, Xander and Elizabeth kissed while locked in the crypt. July 5th, 1999, Jax and Alexis got married. They did the mixed marriage things with Jax and Alexis and Ned and Chloe, even though Ned and Alexis were the couple and Jax and Chloe, it was just a weird thing. So that was 1999. 2017, Sam hallucinated that she stabbed Sunny. It was great.
I remember that, yeah.
July 6th, 1999, Ned and Chloe announced their engagement. July 7th, 1999, 98 Degrees, the band, performed at Jake's. And in 2017, Ned and Olivia got married.
Yep.
July 8th, 1983. Luke's casino opening went awry when Robert called in a raid. Nice, right? 1985, James Ingram appeared as himself and performed at the telethon for underprivileged children. In 2005, Carly's cocktail party guests were stuck when a hurricane hit Port Charles. Of course, now I'm coughing. 1 second, I'll find a cough drop, which I have 9 million, but they're somewhere.
I never got to see the character of Xander except for the time, because Xander is Cameron's father, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the only time is when I saw Xander appear to Cameron as a ghost.
That's
a couple of years back.
Kill to have them bring back. I would kill to have Chad Brennan back. Anyway, okay. 2019, Franco and Elizabeth had a belated wedding reception after their jailhouse wedding.
Yeah.
Also, 2019, on July 8th, Sam gave birth to Danny in John McBain's hotel room during a storm. Heather and Todd switched the babies, leaving Sam with Tea Delgado's stillborn.
Yes.
And that's when they thought that Franco was Danny's father.
Yeah.
Also, in 2013, Ava was shocked to see Silas at GH.
Yep.
2024, Sasha saw Drew kissing Willow. July 9th, also 2024, Cody told Mac that he was his son. July 10th, 1984, Frisco, also known in the real world as Jack Wagner, sang Jack Wagner's very popular hit, All I Need, for the very first time, publicly. 2009, Patrick and Robin sang I've Had the Time of My Life at the first karaoke night at Jake's.
Mm-hmm.
July 11th, 1977, Heather gave birth to Stephen Lars. 2001, Amber Tamblyn last appeared as Emily, which was very sad for me. 2003, Elizabeth was horrified when she found Carly in the panic room at her house accidentally. 2016, after being seen very briefly from behind in previous episodes, James Patrick Stewart made his first proper on-screen appearance as Valentin, although he called himself Theo Hart.
Mm-hmm.
July 12th, 2007, General Hospital Night Shift premiered on SoapNet. July 13th, 2005, Lucky, played by Greg Vaughn at the time, proposed to Elizabeth. And we come to July 14th. In 1981, Sharon Wyatt debuted as Tiffany Hill, who I freaking loved. 1995, Sonny found the wire on Brenda. 1997, Jason was rushed to the hospital after being shot at Robin's house by the Tin Man. In 2003, Elizabeth collapsed before she was able to free Carly, and Rick got home and locked Carly back in the panic room again.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God. It was oh God. That was just, whew. Anyway, in 2004, we end with Lila Quartermain passing away on July 14th, 2004.
All right. Well, that was today. That was today in General Hospital history. Thank you, Professor Angela.
Sorry about things.
I mean, I have to agree with Quiet Star. I loved Sam and John McBain together as a couple. I think John McBain was definitely Michael Easton's best character. I really do. I think that was probably the best.
You mean General Hospital character or altogether character?
I think. I mean, I would say General Hospital character because I don't know him besides One Life to Live in General Hospital. So I would. That's my take on it.
Right. Fair enough.
But I agree. I never watched. I have Night Shift season 1 on DVD. I have to actually sit down and watch it.
I watched Night Shift, and for the life of me, couldn't tell you anything that happened on it. Nothing. It's something my mind has just been like, we're not storing this.
Yeah.
You have enough useless bullshit in your head. I'm a plethora of trivial knowledge, and my mind just went, nope, that's too much. We have already life. Well,
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. All right, so let's kind of get on to our title sequence since we've been talking for an hour and a half now. We haven't even gotten into the fallout from the death of Natalia Ramirez yet. And did I just say the actor that plays Marco? I know Matt from the pointed out not too long ago. I forgot his name, but the guy that plays Marco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, give that man whatever he wants to keep him on the show if he's only recurring.
He's on contract.
Oh, he's on contract. Okay, well, keep him on the damn show because he is fantastic, and I am absolutely loving the emotion I can feel from him.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely fantastic.
I love Marco too. I really, really do love Marco. I really, really do. I love him. I love his relationship with Lucas.
Yep.
I'm big fan.
I think that the the way that he handled Ezra Boyle when he came up to him and got to his face about trying to put the thing out. Oh, well, here's the mayor who's very close to Sonny. And, so, one of Sonny's guys was seen leaving and the way he handled it, saying that he's not, he didn't like it for personal, political gain or whatever. I thought that was great. It really did.
I agree. I really liked it too, but I also liked him slapping, Laura down after as well, because, and I heard somebody say that they're like, oh, he's going to be villainous like his father, but he threatened to sue Ezra,
right?
Not send his, I don't, and I love Marco and Lucas, I really, really do.
And I like the interplay with Sidwell and Marco, and just the way that they interact and how it's similar. It is similar to how Sonny kind of interacts with his kids, trying to keep them away from the business.
No, it's nothing similar to that. It's nothing similar to that. What child has Sonny tried to keep away from the business?
Well, I mean,
let Michael get involved with the business when he wanted to.
Okay.
Sonny's kids don't want to be involved in the business. We're not. Sidwell's a bad guy, like Sonny is a bad guy. Absolutely. Sidwell seems to be a good father. Okay? And if anybody wanted an example of Sonny yet again not being a good father, his whole nonsense this year. Hey, friend, come take this. And also, you need to go get your new ones for tomorrow. Carly was completely right, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
New medication, Mom has it. He was really, really good. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, why does he care? He wanted nothing to do with it. It was his mother. He didn't want her dead. And when she was in trouble, he helped her. He was her lawyer. You know what I mean? She hurt him. She broke his head, but that was still his mother.
Yeah.
And no matter, you're going to be sad when your mother dies. Even if you hated her, there's a part of you that's going to be sad when your mother dies. That's not saying that, you're going to mourn her, whatever, and that you should accept anything for your mother. That's not what I'm saying. But mothers have a special place in our hearts. And I'm not insulting fathers, because it's a different grief when your father dies. But it was his mother. There's something different with your mom. I'm sorry. There just is.
We're right. Okay, so Donna points out that it's troubling for Craze fans. I assume it's because of Marco and Lucas. Because, Blaze was there with Christina. I think my thought on that is they had a bigger storyline for Christina. And they had to get her the messiness. Lucas and Marco. Lucas could be that strong support for Marco the way Blaze was for Christina, but it just won't be as messy.
Okay. See, I'm going to disagree with you here, Donna. He didn't replace Blaze. One, he existed in universe before they got rid of Blaze. And the behind the scenes, you of all people know the behind the scenes shenanigans that led to Blaze leaving. So this was not the show. I mean, it was the show, obviously, but this was the show giving into behind the scenes shenanigans. And that is not me blaming Jacqueline Grace Lopez for anything, because she is fucking phenomenal and I adore her. But it wasn't, and he didn't replace Blaze. He existed before they got rid of Blaze. And a lot of people thought that they were going to bring him on from the time that he was mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
And his relationship with Lucas is a completely different thing. And they didn't have him, I know that a lot of Blaze fans were concerned that they were going to have Natalia be redeemed by making things right with Marco, but they didn't do that.
Right.
They didn't take that story from Blaze and give it to Marco. That wasn't what it was. So he didn't replace Blaze. I mean, I loved Blaze. I do. And Blaze is the only thing that made Christina tolerable for me. I don't think Christina deserves her in any way, shape, or form, but she's the only one that makes her tolerable.
And I agree with Donna that I wouldn't say this should be her story, meaning Blaze,
both siblings' story.
But
it should be both siblings. I would love for this to be the story. I think that they should have brought her back, on her mother's, at her mother's funeral, or, still not too late. They could still do it. Her mother died and she came to terms with it and she wanted to connect again with her brother and be close to her brother. It can happen. I would love that. And they could mourn their mother together. Love you, Chad. Thank you.
Yes, Chad, have a great night. Thank you for tuning in.
But I don't think they replaced Blaze with Marco.
No, and they just went in a completely different direction.
For Blaze on the canvas. And honestly, I mean, storyline, it made sense to me why they had Blaze leave with what they planned with Christina.
Yes.
Because they could, they had two choices. They either sent her away and kept their relationship not a mess, you know what I mean? Because they could have given them a very messy breakup and then kept Blaze on canvas and really muddied up that relationship, and they didn't. They sent them off with an open-ended where it could continue, and they parted on good terms. But they could not have done the story they were planning with Christina if she was with Blaze.
Right, because they couldn't have her going off the deep end.
Exactly. Blaze was too centering of a presence for her.
Right, because the thing is she couldn't be both a babyface and a heel at the same time. Mm-hmm. Being in a relationship with Blaze made her a really likable character because of the relationship. Exactly. They couldn't have her also be this messy, this out of control if she had that centering relationship.
Because it would have either been Blaze centering her and reeling her in, or her actions being really bad for her relationship with Blaze. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll ever bring her back. I want them to. They should. Without a doubt, they should. I think there's a place on her, on canvas, whether or not she's with Christina. Yeah. Although I think that Christina kind of needs her because it's the only thing that would redeem Christina in any way for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if you put her in there with Brooklyn and Chase and what they're going through, I mean, doesn't Brooklyn still manage her career?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but also,
because I'm saying, I mean, there is a place for her on the canvas, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I'm not 100% sure it will never happen.
Right,
because with what happened, that, and I'm gonna be vague, but Donna understands it. With what Big Daddy Frank did around the nurses' ball with who was and wasn't there, it kind of makes me think that there's a backbone going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there's a backbone going on and some foot putting down, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see about that, but yeah.
So, I mean, I would like to see her.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I would like to see her back. I thought she was a breath of fresh air in terms of as a character, as a even as just an actor on the show.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
Okay, so whose side are you on? Team Lulu or Team Brooklyn?
Lulu.
I
like Brooklyn, I love Lulu, but I like Brooklyn. She's messy. She's fun. But please, I've had many debates with Brooklyn fans.
Yes.
And, again, there are some facts here.
Yep.
Yes, Lulu hates Brooklyn for very good reason. And Brooklyn hates Lulu. Brooklyn hated Lulu before I really thought she had reason to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying I don't have issues with Lulu. She chose Dante over her family, but she's a soap character, and they all freaking do that.
Yeah.
But Lulu broke into Martin's room to try to find information about her child. She wasn't searching for information on Brooklyn. Her and Brooklyn immediately butted heads when she came back, but that wasn't just her. That wasn't just Lulu. That was her. Brooklyn had a bitch face on the second she laid eyes on her.
Yes.
And it was both of them. But Lulu, she came across that information.
Yes.
I'm doing my podcast. Give me a few more minutes, okay, love? She went to Brooklyn with it. Mm-hmm. And she confronted her. She was, and Lulu was ridiculous later on with I think Brooklyn knew it was Gio the whole time. That was bullshit. But she went to Brooklyn. And for all the people saying, Lulu just wanted to make Brooklyn look bad for Dante, then why didn't she just go to Dante?
Right.
She wanted Dante to know the truth, but she wanted Brooklyn to be the one to tell him. Yes. She could have been the big hero to Dante and been the one to tell him. And she never intended to tell Gio. Ever.
Right.
She thought that Gio when she found it was Gio, she thought he had a right to know as well because he had no parents. Because she had been told this whole time, this kid has parents, you're going to ruin his whole life, which it wasn't true. And I mean, Gio's upset now, but in a year he's going to be calling Brooklyn mom, if even that long down the road, whatever. But she never intended to tell Gio. Yep. She wanted Dante to know the truth about his son. And
can we just appreciate?
And on soaps, people have a person.
Yeah.
Nobody doubts that Lulu and Dante are going to end up together, and they're going to be endgame. They're not going there right this second. They're going to dabble with Brooklyn and Dante first, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, when they close the book on Lulu and on Dante, it's going to be closing on them as a couple together. They are going to be each other's endgame. That's been obvious since they became a big couple whenever. Yep. And when you have a person, whether you're with them or not, it's hard to not think it's your business. You're right. It's also her son's, or both of her kids, not both of her kids, her son's brother. And Lulu also knows how it feels to not know you have a child out there.
Yep.
And to have them kept from them. And she knows that Dante knows how it feels. Because it happened to her with Rocco and Dante, or Lulu, Rocco and Charlotte, and it happened to Dante with Rocco.
Yeah.
She wanted Dante to be told the truth. And I don't disagree with that. And I understand, I don't blame teenage Brooklyn, but adult Brooklyn, when it was all coming up, should have told Dante the truth. Yes, however, whatever, it's a soap, people don't tell the truth.
Yeah.
But where Brooklyn and like they kept, like Brooklyn kept saying, she's harassing me, she won't leave me alone. Her and Chase were going to Lulu's house all the time. Lulu wasn't tracking her down.
Right.
Brooklyn was going to Lulu for Lulu to say, tell Dante the truth. Yes. Lulu wasn't, torturing poor. And then I had no issue. Like, the whole thing with Chase and Dante, there was a lot of debate about that as well. Mm-hmm. And I have no issue with Chase saying that his loyalty should be to his wife. None whatsoever.
Yep, agreed.
But where Chase lost me is that Chase went to Dante knowing the truth and lied to his face to get him to yell at Lulu.
Right.
for Brooklyn. And that's where, if Chase hadn't brought Dante into it to yell at Lulu,
yeah,
he would have me 10 toes down. Dante, you are wrong. Chase is right. But once he brought Dante into it, it's a whole other thing. Then when Dante, Lulu started figuring out it was Gio, because Dante was about to ruin his entire chance of a relationship with this kid with the Rocco shit.
Yes.
So, and Lulu never intended, she was in a room with a closed door. Should she have done it at the nurse's ball? Of course not. But again, soap opera.
Right.
Would make no sense. Eventually somebody was going to have to overhear something. And it gave us those phenomenal Geo scenes during the nurse's ball. Come on, who could be mad about those violin scenes? They were so good.
I mean, could we just appreciate how much of an actor Giovanni Mazza has grown into in this past calendar year?
If he is not in that new category next year, I'm going to riot.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I want to continue with this Brooklyn and Lulu thing. Now, so yes, Brooklyn's son got hurt. Lulu didn't intend it, but she was kind of responsible. She was.
Yeah.
She should not have. I don't agree that she should have stayed out of it. I don't think, it's a soap opera. And Dante is her person. Dante is her family. Whether they're married or not, they share children. And she cares about him and wanted him to know the truth. He deserved to.
Okay, so Brooklyn, I need to ask why you have why you don't like Dante. Because this is what Brian Star said, fuck Dante and his feelings. I can care less about that man or what anyone thinks he deserves.
I'm gonna guess that it's because of Michael, what he did to Michael. And a lot of the times I'm that same way with Dante. I don't give two shits about Dante. I don't. I thought him and Sante were cute. I thought him and Lante were cute. But he got Michael sent to prison.
The fact that Michael has come to terms with it and been, kind of gotten past it, to me, that's like,
See, that doesn't move me, because Michael has been made to forgive Sonny every fucking thing he did to him too.
Wow.
Dante lied about Sonny shooting him to protect Sonny. But Michael had to tell the truth? No. Dante is his father's son, and I don't care if he burns in a fire, whatever. But my thing, too, with Brooklyn is that when Brooklyn decided to get her revenge on Lulu, she decided purposely to hurt Lulu and Dante's minor son.
Right.
To do it. She went to Marco. She wanted that information.
Yes.
And then her plan was to leave the file out in the common areas of the house where Rocco could see it. And that is what happened. The fact that after she did it, went, I was going to do this, but I've decided not to. And she didn't mean for him to find it that day, even though it was just sitting there in a pile. It's not like the kids rifled through the pile. Danny looked at it and saw Rocco's name. Her plan came to fruition. Whether she said later that she decided not to do it matters not to me, because she did it. And it was always her intention was, I'm going to try to hurt Lulu by hurting her child.
Yep. You're right.
And the thing is that, Lulu says she's a mother. She did it because Lulu said, I don't lie to my kids. When was Lulu supposed to tell Rocco?
Yeah.
He was small. He was little when she went into the coma.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's been things going on since. And what did it matter? My thing, I know Rocco's making a huge, ridiculous, I think it's the Corinthos gene in him that he's an idiot. But, Britt was not his mother. Right. Lulu and Dante had done nothing wrong. And even as a teenager, it's something hard to understand.
Yes.
And also, Dante had all those years with him and never told him.
Right.
But he was a kid. And
Yeah.
Brooklyn targeted a child.
Yes. You're right.
To hurt Lulu.
Yep.
And how anybody could say, and she purposely, Lulu wasn't trying to hurt Gio, and she apologized to Gio. Brooklyn was purposely trying to hurt Rocco.
Yes.
And
you're right.
did it. Yep. And, Lulu, Dante had more smoke for Lulu about the Gio than he had for Brooklyn.
Yes. Yeah.
And Rocco's his kid. But again, he's his father's son. So, whatever. But I'm like, Brooklyn purposely tried to do this and did it. It doesn't matter to me that she decided not to do it, because she decided not to do it after it had already played out.
No, you're right.
Lulu is a better person than Brooklyn is.
So I gotta ask you. I've heard rumblings, and we're gonna kind of go to casting news, possible casting rumors.
No.
Is Brian?
No.
No.
It was a look at me, look at me, look at me.
Oh,
he does that every once in a while. It's like Ken Schreiner's thing when he was, I'm leaving GH, when it was just he wasn't being used on record. No. Brian Craig does this every once in a while as a look at me, look at me, look at me, like every few months. He has nothing else really going on right now, and he said, I like a couple days after, he said, I love the fact that you guys all want Morgan to return.
Yeah.
But there is no plans at this time for Morgan to return. He has not filmed. It's not even a ghost spot at this.
Okay.
At this.
Gotcha.
Donna too. Donna needs to. I mean, Donna's fine except for the fact that she's Sonny's kid. So there needs to be an exploding limo in Donna's future as well. And my feelings on this. I get a lot of shit from this with some of my Charlie fans but I need all connections severed.
Well, on that happy note, we've been at this thing for almost 2 hours. I want to thank all 229 people watching and the 2 likes on Facebook for checking it out. Angela, where can everybody find you?
Twitter. Daytime Dish some, but I've been a little busy. PettyPrattle.com and Parade.com. I have some really, I just did a really great article on Mo's latest episode of State of Mind with my girl Laura Wright. It was really, really good. I'm doing 2 other articles for it because they went over so much stuff. And I did one that people seem to like about Kathleen Gotti coming back. So check those out. Parade, all my stuff on Parade, and I'm always around. DMs are open. I'm always willing to chat. If anybody wants me to host Twitter Spaces for them, I can do that, and I have that as an option on my Buy Me a Coffee for one of the cheaper subscription. And we're going to be doing one of the Zooms. I know I've been gone for a few weeks because I've been dealing with some family stuff, but we're going to be doing a Zoom.
All right.
There's something up to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook, Vinny Suds. Also at Suds Media on Twitter for the show network. Again, I just redid the Linktree. So check out Linktree, and the username is Suds Media. Check that out. All of our socials are there. All of our advertisers and sponsors are there. Yes, we did not do the What the Fudge moment of the week this week. That will return next week. I promise. We had just so much to go through. And like I said, we've been at this for 2 hours already. We could probably go all night, but that just won't work.
Poor Vinny probably had a whole lot more to say, and I just dominated everything. I'm sorry.
That's not a problem at all. I'm going to be doing more TikTok shorts and more YouTube shorts going forward with certain some of my personal viewpoints when it comes to wrestling and soaps. So stay tuned to that now that I'm back from vacation and time to buckle down on a lot of different things. So, folks, we are out of time. Thank you all for watching. Again, this is there will be no Gate Crashers tonight. Dockside at the Bay returns this week as well. But we are out of time, folks. For Angela, I'm Vinny. We'll see you next week right here for Suds News. Have a great night, everybody.
Hey.